Good morning, good evening. Hope everyone's doing really, really great. So lovely to see so many texts already. Ashwati, Ajit, hi. Pranam Pepe, good morning. So I'd asked a question whether, any of you have felt confused about a decision, about choosing a way forward. Hey Palak and Shai, good morning. So, yeah, have you felt confused and unsure about what direction to take or, what decision to make? And lately I've been reading a lot about Wayne Dyer. If you don't know Wayne Dyer, look him up. He's such an interesting speaker and thought leader, and yeah, just an incredible person who has so much wisdom and strength and just amazing ideas actually about life that I really love to think about and learn about. And Wayne Dyer says that, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? And I'll say that again. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Palak is saying every day, every decision is difficult, even what to make for lunch or a dinner or even decisions for the future. I get it. I feel you. Hey, Geraldine. Hey, Prabhat. So I get it. I totally get it. Wayne Dyer said that Albert Einstein was of the opinion that the most fundamental decision we have to make with our lives is, do I live in a friendly or hostile situation? Do I live in a friendly or hostile universe? Is it a universe filled with hostility, anger, people wanting to hurt me, hate me, kill each other? Is that what I think? Is that what I've decided what my world is to be? And Albert Einstein apparently said, when you see the world that way, that's exactly what you create for yourself in your life. And this is from a great scientific mind. And the interesting thing is that it isn't just a clever play on words, that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And Wayne Dyer describes this with an example. This is one of my favorite examples, okay? Imagine the following scene. You're in your house, you have your car key in your hand, and suddenly the lights go out. Power failure. I think a lot of us have experienced this over and over. Now, you can't see a thing, and you're stumbling around your living room and you're trying to find whatever the last thing was that you needed to leave the house. But then you drop your keys, and let's say it's carpet, so you can't hear it. It's just a soft thud, and someone else is speaking, and so you're trying. It's a weird situation, right? You're looking around and you are stumbling on the floor. You're on all fours now. You're trying to look for your keys. And then for a moment you realize, okay, well, it's too dark in here. I may have kicked it under the couch. I have no idea where it is. But then while you're on your all fours, you look out for a second and you notice that the street lights are on. So in your mind, a light bulb goes off and you're thinking, I'm not going to sit around here in the dark and grope around looking for my keys when there's light outside, right? So you go outside. Now, some of you may already be laughing because you're wondering why this person has gone outside. So you go outside under the street light and you start looking for your keys there. Stay with me, all right? You're out there, you're groping around, you're, kneeling, crouching, looking under cars, you're looking for your keys. And your neighbor comes along and asks, hey, what happened? Well, I dropped my keys. And he says, oh, you know what? I'll help you. So now the two of you are out there in the street looking for your keys. They're, of course, nowhere to be found. And finally, he says, where did you drop your keys? Can you retrace your steps? And you say, well, actually, I dropped them in the house. And he says, what? You mean to tell me that you dropped your keys in your house, but you're looking for them out here in the street? It doesn't make any sense. And you say, well, it's too dark in there. It doesn't make any sense to grope in the dark when there's light out here. And again, you may laugh at this example, but isn't it what we do, a lot of us? Or maybe even all of us, right? When we have a difficult problem or we're struggling to locate an answer, and instead of looking inward, we're looking for any solution outside of ourselves, even to the point of making someone else find a solution for us when actually, maybe we should be groping around in the dark. And Wayne Dyer has a different example for the fact that we look to other people. Suppose you have some sort of cough or cold or some sort of illness, and you go to your doctor and you tell your doctor all your symptoms. You list them out one by one by one. And the doctor says, okay, well, for this symptom you need this prescription, and for this particular symptom you need this other prescription. And he writes up a whole bunch of different prescriptions, right? And you finish your appointment, you get to the door, and he doesn't give you the prescriptions. It's odd. And instead of giving it to you, he says, oh no, I'll give this one to your mother, that one to your father-in-law, this one to your neighbor, this one to your dog, and this last one to your sister. And you would think that's absurd. I'm the one who needs the medication. Why are you giving it to, other people in my life? The thing is that so often, Wayne Dyer says, we expect someone else to change or, adapt or something else to change outside of us to get better in order for our lives to start working again the way we want to. And it's something that maybe it's a good idea for us to take a deep, long, hard look at. When we're not happy with something, what do we do? And I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you resort to usually? And I don't know that there's a right or a wrong way, because I think we are so different and we all have very different coping mechanisms. However, there's things that are closer in our sphere and then much further out in our sphere. And again, without saying that something is right or wrong, I think knowing when to use what coping mechanism is so important, right? Sometimes we want to just Netflix and chill, just binge watch something, or we use food. I mean, I do that when I'm happy, when I'm sad. Food is something that I really connect with, and it always lifts me up. And I do think that over time I'm going to change my relationship with food. Alcohol, another thing, or retail therapy. How many people go on shopping sprees even during lockdown, right? We just buy things to make us feel better, make us feel in control. And it's not that it's completely taboo, it should never be done. I think, again, there are certain things that we do to get by, and then those things feel like the outward mechanisms, right? And the slightly more closer to home is maybe take a break, maybe do some deep breathing, or take a walk in nature, play with a pet. You know what? That's something very interesting about playing with animals, that we learn from them. We pick up on their energy. They pick up on ours and actually lift ours up. Taking a nap. I mean, these are amazing things. And I feel like somewhere journaling, maybe, somewhere the answer is within. What I often feel when I turn to food, or when people tell me about them turning to retail therapy or alcohol, is a form of numbing ourselves, going away, getting so much distraction that we don't have to deal with the problem. And nowadays what I'm trying to do in my own life is to do non-numbing things, like talking to a friend or finding a therapist or journaling or walking even inside my house and speaking out loud, even quietly, but speaking out loud to myself, and letting things come out. And I'd like to share a beautiful exercise that I learned from a speaker called Keir McLaren. And he says, try to bring your awareness to whatever the situation is that you're confused about, that you don't have an answer for. And take your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, write with your right hand, or if you're left-handed, of course, with your dominant left hand. And ask yourself, your inner self, it could be your inner child. Usually I find that speaking to myself, like little Anne or little Annette, little Nettles, asking a question. You seem upset about this thing, but you'd rather do something else. I know you're confused about it. Tell me what you know about it. So write this question down. For the answer, however, use your non-dominant hand. So for me, it would be my left hand. And scribble out what the answer is. And because you have much less control over this hand, Keir McLaren says that oftentimes you'll be shocked at what you write. You may actually admit something to yourself that your brain and your dominant writing hand does not allow you to admit, because there's filters, there's those things built into our psyche. And say, just allowing your non-dominant hand to do the writing may kind of shake things up for you. What is that answer? Is it that your family told you you're not good enough, or someone told you not to take a risk, or your neighbor said that a job and a steady salary is the primary way to be successful? What is it? What is that fact someone sold to you that may not be your truth? And Keir McLaren reminds us that there's a saying, everything you need, you already have. It's already within you. And what if you tried not numbing yourself, but seeking inward? What if you tried groping in the dark with your non-dominant hand? It's an interesting thing to think about, right? So as we breathe today, I'd love for us to comfortably go inward and ask our inner child or our inner self about whatever the situation is that we might be confused about, unsure about, uncertain about, undecided about. And forgiving ourselves because, most of us have been trained to look outside us. Our society is obsessed with looking for answers outside. However, I think now I realize that my answers really need to come from me, because my answers are going to be totally different from yours, because I'm totally different from you and you're totally different from me. And that's why I think asking questions, even in the dark, helps us find what that answer is. What's the way forward? Ashwati said that she often struggles with figuring out which way to go. And Keir McLaren has one last thing to consider. When you have an emotional reaction way out of proportion to the reality of the situation, that's the best clue to realize something is unsettled within you. I'll say that again. When you have an emotional reaction way out of proportion to the reality of the situation, it's the best clue that there's something unsettled inside you. So let's take 3 breaths in and out. Breathing in comfort that when we talk to ourselves, it's actually the safest place. And exhaling your worry about groping in the dark. Inhaling joy that everything you need you already have. And exhaling that worry where you're frantically searching outside of you, possibly even numbing yourself because you just can't bear to not have an answer. And one last time, all together, breathing in, certainty, assurance, kindness, and exhaling all those feelings of not being enough. Everything you need, you already have, which is really another way of saying you have enough, you are enough, and you do enough. All right, beautifuls. I love this topic. I love thinking about it. I love Wayne Dyer's funny examples. I love Keir McLaren's really unusual, maybe not so unusual, but I haven't done it in a long time, the dominant versus non-dominant hand. And I'd love to know if any of you try it and if you get an answer. You don't have to tell us what the answer is unless you feel like it. Tell us what you experienced. I am so happy to just spend this time with all of you. So many people that I now know, and you all also know each other. It's a beautiful thing. And I invite you to the Keeping It Light Circle page. We're going to be launching some explorations very soon. And also a reminder that this is session 73. And I have one last session on this page, my personal page, from session 75. We're moving to the official page. I have an artist page that I'm going to move everything to. So I hope I will see you there. And I hope you will follow the page so we can stay in touch. So much love to each and every one of you. And I wish you a beautiful day of clarity, of groping around in the dark, unafraid. All right, beautifuls. See you on Friday. So much love. Mwah! Bye.